Well, that bites.
You might be wondering how we got here, and that's what this video is about.
This year, I've been on a journey to make 12 mini apps with vibe coding tools like Replit. In my latest project, I decided to experiment and change up my workflow. This time, I wasted 25 hours working on this project before I ran into a roadblock that halted the project entirely. And the only way to fix it was to spend $2,400 to get over it. So I stopped and I made a checklist that I'll follow every time I start a new project, so that way I don't waste valuable time on a non-feasible project idea again. I'm going to cover that full checklist in this video, and at the end, I'll share my Notion template that you can use for free so that you don't waste valuable time on your project idea. Before we dive into the lessons, let me share how I got here. A few days ago, I had an idea that would turn my scrolling habit into something productive. Whenever I have an idea, the very first thing I do is I try to make a sticky note of that idea. And not physically, I mean an idea, a sentence that would fit on a sticky note. If you can simply write out your idea, you better understand it. It helps you keep your idea more clear, and it helps you reduce scope creep. And then I usually jump right into ChatGPT, and that helps me shape the idea. It helps me come up with features, name ideas, and other things that maybe I wouldn't have thought of on my own. And using this process, it definitely helps me define the MVP. These things are tried and true, and I use them almost every time I come up with an app idea or a business idea. I just get the sticky note out, and then I use ChatGPT to help shape the idea. And sometimes, I use a friend or my wife or my business partner, Ricky.
Hello.
What's up? Once I have those two things and I decide if it's worth, spending a few hours getting it going, I go into the next phase, sketching the idea. I'm a pretty visual person, so I use pen and paper or sometimes Figma, sometimes even just a napkin, just to get a visual representation of the idea that I have in my head. This helps me translate the words that I have on this sticky note into something visual. And this time, I thought I was being smart. I've made projects before that used APIs and, incur some costs there and all that, but I really wanted to do some research. So I even asked ChatGPT, what are the costs associated with this project? List them out and make sure I'm not missing anything. Because for some reason I had a feeling that I would be forgetting something. And it all came back good to go. I was psyched. This idea was simple, it was gonna help me fix my scrolling problem, and wasn't gonna cost much, which is even better. So I jumped right into the project. Remember how this time I said I decided to experiment and switch up my workflow? Well, I did. Instead of jumping right into Replit, I decided to jump right into Figma. So I decided to design the high fidelity version of this prototype. In the past, the front end of Replit has always been just a little off. It's always a little harder to fix than I would like. So I wanted to try a way that I could create this prototype that I could feed to Replit and hopefully make the front end development a little bit easier this time. Behind me, I have Replit kind of doing its thing. This is after I just prompted it, gave it all the PRD documents, the mockups, the designs we did, as well as just a good old-fashioned prompt with a lot of detail. And it's starting to build the plan. So we'll see what it cooks up. And it was great. I really enjoyed this process. I even made a recap video going through the pros and cons of this new workflow, and you can watch it here and I'll have it linked in the description below. I really felt confident that this idea was coming together. The Figma looked great, and it was time to jump into Replit. I jumped into Replit and things started to take shape. I created the project and Replit took a long time, a lot longer than normal, to make the app and to make the little features that we prompted it to do. So behind me here, Replit's doing its thing, and frankly it's taken a lot longer than it used to. Anyway, it's been taking like 15-20 minutes per item. Replit's just taking its sweet time and trying to make this wait time productive. The new agent seems to work a little harder, which is great. And there are definitely fewer bugs that I found when we were in Replit this time. So I jumped right into OAuth. I even jumped right into X's OAuth because that was the platform that we were going to be using for authentication. And I even got it to work. I had never used OAuth before and I was psyched. Once we got the OAuth working, it was time to get down to the nitty-gritty of the project and use the API. And that's when I hit the brick wall and halted this project in its tracks. Well, I have some tough news. We can't do this without a paid X developer account at $200 a month. To get this feature to work, I was gonna need to upgrade my developer account to $2,400 a year. And as of now, that's more than I'm willing to spend on this fun little project that was gonna help turn my scrolling habit into something productive. And I learned a very important lesson. Always read the docs. Always read the API docs. With AI, it's super important, and we hear it all the time, trust but verify. And I didn't. I just trusted blindly. I thought ChatGPT gave me the answer. I thought, based on all of the costs that it spit out, I was excited. It didn't seem like we missed anything, but we missed a core function that this particular API, you needed a certain type of access to get this certain feature that I was looking for. So let's recap. Before you jump into your vibe coding project or even your app idea, here are the 5 things you need to do. 1, you need to create your sticky note idea. Get things down, make them clear. 2, you need to shape your idea, whether you use AI or a friend or something of that sort, and define the MVP. 3, sketch out your idea or make a visual of the idea just to translate the words that are on your sticky note and the shaping of your idea into something visual. That usually helps me a lot. And 4, research your costs, go look through everything. And number 5, as silly as it sounds, actually read the docs. Actually read the API documentation and make sure that you have everything you need to make the project a success. I wanted to make sure that I never ran into this project again, and frankly, making this video is burning it into my memory to always read the docs, and I hope this is burned into your memory too, just before you waste valuable time. But like I said, I want to make sure that I never waste valuable time again. So I made this Notion template that helps me manage my vibe coding projects and helps me remember the 5 steps of these checklists before I start to spend time making them. It's completely free and it's linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video or got a kick out of it, subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about taking ideas from 0 to 1 and getting them out into the world. I'll be sharing my lessons learned along the way, running a design agency and vibe coding apps myself. And if you enjoyed this video, once again, you can watch the process of my workflow here. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned a thing or two. And if so, please like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.